Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen once again. Today I would like to show you how to make one of the world's most easily digestible, nourishing and therefore healing foods. And I'm talking about kitchari, not to be confused with kitchari, which is a fish dish. This has no fish in it whatsoever. So kitchari is made with yellow split mung beans usually, which are the most easily to digest lentils. They're not beans actually. And because they're so easily to digest, it gives our digestive system a rest. So whenever we have any digestive issues, acid reflux, gastritis, Crohn's disease, IBS, you name it, this is the dish to go for. If you recover from a serious illness, you haven't been able to eat for a while, or you've just undergone chemotherapy and you're out of hospital and you want to get your digestive system up and running again, this is the food to eat. So what do we actually need? We need some beneficial oil, of course, and again the most healing oil is ghee, which is clarified butter. Because this is very easy to absorb for the body, this oil. It's got so many healing properties, but it's especially healing for the gut lining, because our beneficial gut bacteria love this short chain fatty acids that are in the ghee, and especially butyrate, where butter has got its name from. So this helps nourish the beneficial gut bacteria in the mucus lining of our gut barrier, and helps to keep it intact so that no toxins can actually escape into the bloodstream, which we don't want. So if you can get it, you can buy it online or you can make it yourself, and this time I bought it because I didn't have time to make it. So we take a tablespoon of this and put it in a pan, and it's good to take a pan that can hold some liquid, a decent amount of liquid. And then of course we need some spices, and I go for my usual suspects, some cumin seeds, some nigella seeds or black onion seeds, they're also called. Just half a teaspoon or a full teaspoon. Some black mustard, brown mustard seeds, but be careful if you have any heat issues, which can manifest as skin rashes. So then I would say stay away from mustard seeds, or any inflammatory disease, which usually ends in itis, arthritis or gastritis. So be careful with mustard seeds. And of course fennel seeds, they're so beneficial. So all these herbs and spices, they help improve our digestion, so they make this even easier to digest. It's just so wonderful. Right, so I've put in my spices and I'm going to roast them for about a minute while they release their aroma. I've also cut some red onion, and you can use white onion if you like, but I prefer red onion. Also add some color to the dish. And I also like to put in 1 clove of garlic. You don't have to, but I'm quite partial to garlic. And again, it's very good to rebalance our gut microbiome, the balance between the more harmful and beneficial microbes in favor of the beneficial ones, of course. Right, so turn down the heat. You can already smell the lovely aroma. And then of course some ginger. also very, very partial to ginger, so it's very decent amount. Again, ginger is so beneficial for our digestion. If you've got any digestive issues, again, use a lot of ginger in your cooking. Also drink ginger tea. It helps with appetite. If you've got lack of appetite, it helps with inflammatory issues. It helps with nausea. It helps improve the flow of everything, like pushing your food along, and therefore it helps with constipation. It also helps with diarrhea, because sometimes we have diarrhea because our digestive fire is not stoked up enough. So ginger is generally warming to the digestive system, which we want. We want heat in there so that we can digest our food properly. Right, so once we've done that, we are going to add this is a mixture of yellow split mung beans, which I'm going to show you what they look like, with some basmati rice, white basmati rice. Again, it's more easily to digest. If you use brown basmati rice, it will have the husk still on it, and you need to have more digestive strength to be able to digest the husk. So I use about half a mug. Let's see whether I can find a mug quickly. So half of this for one person and a whole one for 2 people. If you use a whole cup, then you can eat the leftovers maybe in the evening. But it's not recommended to eat leftover kitchari overnight, which has been left overnight. So we put this in there. So it's really important, if you can, to soak this mixture, the yellow split mung beans with the white basmati rice, at least for 1 hour. Best, of course, overnight, but we all, we are forgetful. So an hour, and rinse it first, wash it a little bit, and then soak it. And again, this makes it more easily to digest. So I'm saying it wrong. It makes it easier to digest. Yeah. Excuse my English. And then I also like to include some homemade bone broth. So just a little bit, cover it all up, and then you can also mix in some normal water. I like using filtered water because I don't trust the water supply in York. And then I bring everything to the boil. So you've seen me add quite a lot of liquid. I would say at least 500 milliliter. So the consistency of this kitchari can be more soup-like, or it can be more porridge-like. It really depends on you. I prefer more porridge-like at lunchtime and soupier in the evening, if there's any left over. And yeah, and of course you can also add some turmeric, which is very good for thinning your blood. I mentioned this before. This is the time of year when our blood tends to become a bit thicker, because at the end of the winter we release all the winter fats, ready to go into the spring season, and that can clog up our lymphatic system and our blood, and we want to thin the blood and keep it thin, and we want to keep everything flowing. So turmeric is brilliant it improves blood flow and blood circulation, and it's also very good for the liver. So, and of course it's also got antimicrobial properties, so it's good for our gut bacteria. It's got lots and lots of beneficial properties. And always use pepper when you use turmeric, otherwise you don't absorb you don't get the benefits from the turmeric, let's put it that way. So generous amount of black pepper and a little bit of rock salt. And that's it really. So I'm going to bring this to the boil, and then you boil it for a few minutes. Then you turn the heat down to simmer, and as you put the heat down to the simmer, you can add some vegetables, for example. You don't have to, you can eat the kitchari as it is, but I like to add some vegetables. So I've got some chopped carrots, and I'm going to eat some sweet peas, which I'm going to chop as well. But you can add bok choy, spinach, courgette, green beans, what else? Fennel, fennel bulb cut up nicely. Peas would be really good in there, broccoli, cauliflower, you name it. Is there anything I wouldn't add? I can't think of it, even beetroot, you know. So you can really make it your own again, and this is the perfect dish now also for, you know, anybody who hasn't got any digestive issues, because we are going now into Lent, and this is the beginning. Lent is the period where we tend to, or should be, eating a little bit less and do a little bit more fasting, again to, you know, rebalance our body and prepare it for spring and release the winter fats that have accumulated. And so you can eat kitchari for breakfast, lunch and dinner, no problem whatsoever. You can eat it for a week, you can even eat it for 3 weeks without any malnourishment, because this is a complete protein, which means it has all the amino acids that our body, even those that our body can't produce itself, so that's why it's called a complete protein. There are amino acids that our body can't make itself, so, and they are provided by this meal. Yeah, so if you want to do a fast, do a kitchari fast. You can do it, as I said, eat it 3 times a day, make it a little bit different every day with different vegetables if you want, or eat it just plain like this with herbs and spices, and will be very satisfying. It won't create any cravings, and it will also be really cleansing for your digestive system, and as I mentioned before, it's going to give your digestive system a rest even when you're eating. I mentioned it before, 60% of the energy that we get from the food we eat goes back to digesting the next meal, so this is perfect. So it's now starting to boil, and I'm going to boil it for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to add the vegetables, put everything down to simmer, and when it's got the consistency I like, then I'm going to start eating it. And the other thing you can add, just when you serve it, is some fresh coriander. Again, it helps get rid of toxins, as does this whole dish, if I haven't mentioned it before. So this is also a great detoxifying dish, really, really good for anybody who's just undergone chemotherapy and needs to get rid of toxins in their body. We used to make it for my husband whenever he came out of hospital, and so I also used it for somebody who hadn't been able to eat for 2 weeks because of a suspected parasitic infection that got out of hand. And so after 2 weeks, after not eating for 2 weeks, he was actually very thin, like my husband after chemotherapy, like a skeleton really. And his whole digestive system had to be, you know, like gently revved up and become accustomed to digesting fiber again. So this is very gentle on the digestive system, and really helps you get your digestive strength back. Okay, so I've been talking enough and I hope you're going to enjoy it. I made it recently with a client and she really loved it, so well, have a go at it and maybe let me know how you get on with it. Bye for now.